Hello gardeners, I'd like to talk to you today about rain. We've had a few days of fairly persistent and light rain, which is jolly good for us, as here in the south of France we already have uh, a drought situation, so we haven't had enough rain during the winter. Although I live in the hills where we've had rather more than many others, I know that my friends who are down on the plains towards the Mediterranean Sea have, which is really only about a 40-minute drive from here, they've had hardly any rain at all, and the aquifers are extremely low. So there's already a drought notice out for this area, which is unheard of really at the end of April. You'd expect everywhere to be sort of topped up for the summer, and it doesn't bode well. But here we were very lucky in buying a piece of land which is 1 acre and building a house. So when we were building the house, we were able to make plans for saving water. So we save all of the water from our, well, not all, because we would have ridiculous amounts, but we save all the water from the roof in tanks underneath the house. We have lots and lots of storage tanks around the house as well. And I try and use the water as we go through the summer. So we save somewhere in the region of 15,000 litres, which was pretty much what the architect told us we'd be able to take from the roof. In fact, he got it a little bit wrong, and we could have at least 80,000 litres by my calculation, which rather shows you that we waste a lot of water that we could use, and gardens much prefer it. So I'm going to take you on a tour. After 3 days of very gentle but persistent rain, the garden is looking much more happy, and it's been mild, and as you can see, everything's starting to really pop up and looking in great form. So long may a little bit of rain, preferably overnight, thank you very much, so that we can garden during the day. That would be great. Of course, the thing about rain as opposed to watering is that it covers everywhere, and it goes much more evenly across the soil, which is just terrific. Whereas if I was to go through with a hose, or if I turned on the drip, I wouldn't be able to cover it in anything like the same way as a few hours of steady rain. So although it might be a pain in the butt while it's actually happening, many things much prefer it. Rhubarb, for example, just loves it. And look at these peppers, very much happier for having had some proper rain. And of course the rain is absolutely fantastic for topping up the pond. So that's so much better than using any water out of the tap, which might contain chlorine or fluoride, neither of which I'm sure the fish like very much. So generally, if I need to top up the water in the pond during the summer, which is a lot because it does evaporate quite fast, then I use water from the tanks that store water collected from the roof, and that seems to work very well indeed. I must say that this little run on needs reading, but you can see that it keeps the water topped up very well. And despite our non-stop frosts, which in fact only ended last week, which is quite late for here really, at the end of April, but I can see that we have apples on the trees, and the trees are so much happier for having had some rain over the last few days. That's the neighbour's vineyard. That was very badly hit by frost, but here you can see that these apples have really not done badly at all. So I think we'll have some fruit this year. And I planted a number of apple and other fruit trees during the autumn, and I'm absolutely delighted with this Bramley. You never see a Bramley apple in France, well, certainly not in the south of France, but right here I have a little beauty. It's as you can see, it's what is it? It's just over ½ a metre tall because I cut it down as soon as I planted it, but it's burst into flower, and it's just such a pretty little thing. Anyway, there you go. And I can see that the rain has had a beneficial effect on this area down here. This is where the toads and the hedgehogs live. But it's looking pretty beautiful this morning after having had lots of rain on us over the last few days. But these trees here have suffered terribly in the frost, as you can see. Not good at all. And I'm not sure that we'll have any fruit on this loquat this year. This area along here acts as a berm, so it's a level walkway path between two much higher beds on either side. And so what happens when it rains is that the water gathers in this central berm here, and then it feeds either side. So you can see that the water here has gathered overnight. I do have to be vigilant in the greenhouse after it's rained, because there seemed to be an absolute surfeit of snails at that time. So right now I'm just looking to make sure that they haven't chopped off any more of my young plants here. I suppose what they'd go for most would probably be, if I can get them down, these sweet corn, but they don't appear to have found them, so that's good. And it's rather disappointing for the hens, because they absolutely love snails. Oh, there's a tiny one. I'm afraid it's a little bit cruel, but the hens do see them as an enormous treat. So here we go, girls. Let's see what we make of that. It's tiny, so one of them will find it. There you go, the winner. All gone.